if I've ever talked to anyone about off-duty work, extra duty work, if they hate it, it's because they've had a problem.
Right, right.
If they love it, it's because they haven't had a problem yet.
Right, right, right.
You are the one who can kind of bridge both of those gaps for them, right? If they've had a problem, you can help them work out of it. And if they haven't had a problem yet, thank God, let's go ahead and put something in place that prevents that from happening, right?
Yeah, we've come into a lot of departments and we, they would have asked them, how does your program work? And they've told us, and we'd say, well, hasn't this happened? Or, some bad thing, because the way you're doing this could happen. And a lot of times we just, get a kind of scared look back and saying, wow, boy, I don't know. I don't think that's happened, but I don't know. Let's plug that hole. So yeah, oftentimes we'll be asked to kind of look at a program, and we can, we could write a Stephen King novel on horror stories from extra duty. So we've seen it before. So we're always happy to help out and try to improve it if asked to.
Well, and Rich, I'm certainly not pointing the finger at anyone else. I'd have been in the same shape. Had you come into my agency and talked to me about that, I'd have told you what I believed was going on, and I certainly would have told you what I hoped was happening. But I couldn't with 100% certainty say there was no way to have a problem with it, because it just wasn't the priority it should have been. It was a large.
We've had departments where we walked into and they said everything's fine, everything worked great, but it's kind of an administrative burden, and we've had some bad debts, and we want to work with you guys on this. So we, and inevitably they didn't know it all, right? There were certain things, like we had one case, we've had this like a couple times, but there's one that really sticks in my mind, where after 3 or 4 months of working with a particular agency, the chief called me and said, are your fees kind of what you thought they were going to be here, or are they higher or are they lower in the total amount of money you're taking in? And in this particular case, it's about 10% higher than we estimated. And he goes, yes. He goes, our city admin fee all of a sudden is higher by 10%. And the reason for that was he had a number of officers that are off doing their own thing, cutting their own deals, doing their own details, getting cash on site, no city admin fees being collected. Nobody knew they were doing this. And when he put an ordinance in place with the city saying, look, if you want to work extra duty, it has to go through an organized program like this. You can't just go off and do the Wild West thing anymore. And as a result, that got cleaned up. And as a result of that, all that stuff came into the fray, and the city, their pot went up by 10%. So a lot of times, even when you think there's sort of nothing going on, there could be something going on.